The wreckage of the Valorian warship stretched across 3 kilometers of scorched earth. Commander Marcus Chen stood at the edge of the crater, his pressure suit torn and leaking atmosphere. The battle had lasted 17 minutes. Humanity had lost. The Valorians were gods among the stars, 9 feet tall, their bodies woven from living metal and quantum-entangled neurons that processed thought at the speed of light. They had conquered 400 worlds before humanity even discovered fire. Their technology was indistinguishable from magic, their warriors immortal through consciousness transfer. And now one of them lay dying before him. She had crashed here, her drop pod spearing through Earth's atmosphere like a falling star. Marcus had tracked the impact, expecting to find wreckage. Instead, he found her sprawled across the crater floor, her silver body cracked and bleeding luminescent blue. "Human," she said, her voice a symphony of harmonics that his translator barely managed to parse. "You are the first to arrive." Marcus approached cautiously, his rifle useless against her kind, but raised nonetheless. "Old habits. What happened?" "Betrayal." She coughed, and the sound was like bells shattering. "The Concordat. They fear what I discovered. They sent their assassins. I fled here to this backwater thinking—" Another wet musical laugh. "Thinking I might hide among primitives." He bristled at that, but said nothing. Humanity had been called worse by the galaxy's elder races. The Giantess turned her massive head, her eyes like twin suns regarding him with something approaching curiosity. "You wear the mark of many battles, little one. Scars on your suit, burns on your flesh beneath. You have stood before death often." "Occupational hazard," Marcus replied, lowering his rifle slightly. "What did you discover?" She smiled, revealing teeth like diamonds. "The secret the Valorians keep. Why we do not die. Why we cannot die." Her hand, each finger as thick as his arm, moved to the sword at her side. The weapon was magnificent, forged from some crystalline material that seemed to contain galaxies within its blade. "This," she said, "is a terminus blade, one of 7 forged when the universe was young. It does not cut flesh. It cuts the thread between body and consciousness, severs the quantum entanglement that lets us transfer our minds. It is the only thing in existence that can truly kill a Valorian." Marcus stared. "Why tell me this?" "Because I am dying anyway," she said, and more of that luminous blood pooled beneath her. "The assassins used a terminus blade on me. I managed to steal it, but the wound is absolute. I have minutes, perhaps less." She coughed again, harder this time. "And because I have been watching your species, human. 3,000 years we have watched you. Watching us." Marcus knelt, drawn closer despite himself. "You fascinate us," the Giantess admitted. "You are so small, so fragile. You live barely 100 years, and even that is stolen from you by disease and age and the casual cruelty of entropy. You should be cowering in your caves, praying to gods who do not hear." Her eyes blazed brighter. "Instead, you reach for the stars with hands that know they will turn to dust. You fight battles knowing each one might be your last. You love knowing loss is inevitable. You create beauty that will outlive you. You are terrifying." Marcus felt something catch in his throat. "We do what we must." "No," the Giantess said firmly. "You do more. You thrive in the shadow of death. We Valorians feared mortality so much that we transcended it, and in doing so we became hollow. We do not create anymore. We do not love. We do not truly live. We simply persist." Her hand pushed the sword toward him, the crystal blade scraping against stone. "Take my sword and never know death." "What?" Marcus stepped back. "I don't understand." "The blade," she gasped, her voice weakening. "It can be modified, reversed. What severs immortality can grant it. Take it to your scientists. Let them study it. Let humanity learn what we learned, but do it differently. Do it better." She laughed, and blood spilled from her mouth like liquid starlight. "Show the galaxy that mortality is not a curse to flee from, but a gift to be wielded." "Why?" Marcus demanded. "Why give this to us? Your people tried to wipe us out. Because you deserve it more than we ever did." The light in her eyes began to dim. "Because in 3,000 years of watching, I learned that the measure of a species is not in how long they live, but in what they do with the time they have." Her fingers closed around the sword's hilt and pushed it into his hands. The weapon hummed with power, warm and alive. "Because I am tired of immortality and I want... What?" Marcus gripped the sword, its weight surprising him with how light it felt. The giantess smiled, and for a moment she looked almost human. I want to know what it feels like to have lived. Her last breath was a laugh, musical and free, echoing across the crater like a benediction. The light faded from her eyes, and for the first time in 10,000 years, a Valorian truly died. Marcus Chen stood alone in the crater, holding a god-killing blade, and understood. Humanity's strength had never been in living forever. It was in making forever out of the moments they had. He activated his communicator. Command, this is Chen. I have something you need to see. Something that changes everything. Above him, the stars waited, indifferent and eternal, but humanity had never needed eternity's permission to matter. They would take this gift, this terrible and wondrous knowledge, and they would do what they had always done. They would make mortality mean something. The giantess had been right about one thing. Humanity was terrifying. Not because they feared death, but because they refused to let it define them. And now, with a terminus blade in their possession, the galaxy was about to learn exactly how dangerous that made them.